Guys, in this video, let's talk about a little tips for the 500 HP shield pattern in the first mode Gate 1, and many tips for the Artillerist users become Artillerist users. So a little tips for the 500 HP patterns. So if your hyper skill, so this skill have the long cooldown, lock it. Don't use it with the 530 HP, because if you use these skills after the 530 HP, normally your skill will be cooldown at the shield skipping timing. So if you guys don't have that skills, if it is just one man, it is okay. But normally, if you guys don't promise like this because of the DPS checking and the upright fighter or cruel fighters, normally half of dealers don't have the hyper skills at that timing, so damage lag, so game is bump. Very many times happen also in the speedrun ranking run. Please lock it. And let's make the promise who will use the Dark Grenade at the 500 HP for not confusing also the Dark Grenade older persons. And if you are the identity character like the Igniter or Bearish Artillerist, please gather it before go to the cutscenes. So if you play the party 2 to 3 times, you guys can know, if this party damage, how your party is strong. So in this timing, I should gather the identity for the skipping. So you please thinking you should make the deal cut for the 500 HP patterns for the identity. Use the identity in the shield skipping. So you can also fulfill the identity if you fail to control it when Kazeros summon the chain before the conscience. So in here it give a little time. So almost 5 to the 7 seconds, enough to fulfill identity. Also call the supporter for the care because of the chain accident. And make your own cycle, not the 3-second cycle. Because in that timing, most important thing is the just 10-second damage. For example, Artillerist cycle is start with the flamethrower and gravity, which give the highest identity fulfill but longest cooldown. But in this shield skipping case, use the damage skills first of the homing and airlaid and pressurized hit bomb, and don't use the flamethrower or gravity for the higher damage. So make your own damage cycle based on the Tricians. Thank you. And now is tip for the Artillerist users who want to do it. So in here, Artillerist case, 1 Adrophin time damage burst is very good class. So FP case, what I show you before, those normally the sequence is same. In here, when Kazeros summon the chain before the 500 HP, when you hit with this Inan Shell, normally after the cutscene is end, your firepower gauge is almost half like this. So after the cutscenes, if you maintain the half of gauge, then you guys can fulfill your full identity with just Nate farm. So if cutscene is end, use Initial Hyper Ult, Nate farm, and then your identity is fully, and use the overhit heal like this. Then you can give the biggest cycle damage is this. Like this, and use the flamethrower one more time for the more damage. So this is the build of the 500 shield skip of the FP Artillerist. Then how about the B Artillerist? So B Artillerist case can give the more damage than the FP Artillerist, but one thing is needed, that you should gather the bearish identity and should make the deal cut at the 530 HPs. So in here, this tilling down time is very long. Also FPE, so FP and B Artillerist both should not use the hyper skill and identity skill at the 540 HP for the 5 that skip the shield. But in here, the B case, this is the main deal. So before the 505 HP, you guys can use the bearish mode, but after that HP, you guys should fulfill it. So when both summon the chains, if you don't have the identity at that times, you should gain that identity with hit by the boss. So say the supporter, because you should fulfill the identity, please carry me. So normally, if you see the fulfill the identity and go the cutscenes, your state will like this. And I said you, don't use the hyper ult of this missile. Why? Because this missile hyper ult have so long cutscenes and very low damage. So if I use it, so let's see, I use the hyper ult, then yes, half of damage time is almost lose. You can see. That's because my combat score is very high. I can make the more than 1 man damage, but I lose so many damage time. Then, what is recommended things for the B artillerist? Let's start it. So in my case, I said you that I will fulfill the or identity like this, and use the other pin in this timing. Like this. And because, yes, you guys can say, but this is weaker than the hyper ult cycle. But I said you, hyper ult don't get the damage buff as the supporter or dark grenade or party synergy. But its damage difference is just 2 billion. But this 9 billion damage, all of that 9 billion damage can get the supporter buff, dark grenade, etc. So in near late case, this should bigger damage in the shield, skip the shield. Also, but I want to use the hyper ult in this timing, then I recommend you use this turret ult only in the gate 1 for the skipping that shield. I will show you it also. So under this. You can see the most highest damage of the shoot and scoot cycle case. And I tell you this shoot and scoot is the most strong build in the B artillerist. Then how about the other case? Let's see the 111 of the B artillerist, the cycles. Let's just use the first route because of the damage difference of the 13 seconds. Use the roof, other pin in this timing. This is that. So you can see this is weaker than the shoot and scoop. So that's why I recommend you the shoot and scoop in the first mode, because more staggers, more safety, and more damage in also skip the shields. So also I will show you the tank case with the oral attacks. Let the where is the oral attack? And use this node with the first normal ults. This is the most weakest is the tank in the shield kit. So what I recommend is if you want to play the BE, please play the shoot and scoops because it have the highest stagger in the BE and have the good counter ability and have the good damage ability in the skip the shield. But if you want to not use the shoot and scoop because its playstyle is not like the past BE, then use the Bombing, not the WQWE core because it is very bad. And in here, FP is the best selection nowadays in the Artillerist. You can see that the burst damage is also high, stagger is high. The weaker point is the counters, but if it is not the burst, then that no counter is not that big issues because it have the very high staggers. So thank you for watching.